And that is one hell of a way to make a comeback to YouTube. I'm not gonna say I'm back, but I will say that I feel much more creative. I've been gone for 6 months. That wasn't a typo. I've owned this X5M for 6 months. I have 9,700 miles on the clock. BMW, if you're an OG to the channel, you know that I have historically kind of shit all over BMW, and it's kind of justified. Perfect example, in the last 2 years, Mercedes has given us the AMG GT Black Series, the AMG Project 1, and the AMG G63 4x4. All three of these are perfect examples of enthusiast level, hyper, extreme, turn the dial to 14 cars. BMW gave us a $700,000 M4 with a body kit on it and a bunch of electric cars. And it feels like BMW is playing a game of how do we turn ourselves into Volkswagen. That's it. That's the game they seem to be playing. With two exceptions though, and those exceptions are the M5 CS and the X5M Comp. I hate to say it, I hate to admit it, but this might actually be the ultimate driving machine. I love this thing. I really hope you guys appreciate the level of quality I put into these videos because it's hot. I had to mic myself up. Anyways, coming out of the Tesla, and now that I've had 6 months to think about the Tesla and reflect on my experience with the Tesla, I really hated the Tesla. I really didn't like that thing. So coming out of the Tesla, I knew I wanted something a little bit higher up, a little bit bigger, something I could throw Senna in, my dog, and not really worry about. So I knew I was in the SUV category, and then me being me, it's gotta be a super SUV. You have quite a few options actually in different price points. You have like the Jeep Trackhawk, which is not personally my thing. And then we go all the way to the other extreme. You have the Cayenne Turbo GT, the Lamborghini Urus, the DBX 707, and now the Ferrari Pure Sang, whatever it was. And then there's this middle ground. You have the X5M Comp, the GLE 63S, the RSQ8. This is the fastest out of that group. This is actually one of the fastest on that entire list. You have to spend $230,000, $100,000 more than this to get into the Cayenne Turbo GT if you want to beat this thing in a straight line. BMW really did a good job on the way this thing handles. They basically took the M5, which is already a fantastic car that I've reviewed in the past, and shoved it into an SUV. And there's really only two things I didn't like about this thing when I bought it. One was the fact that I have a bigger wheel gap in this thing than a Ford Bronco Raptor. Easy fix with some lowering springs. I actually even bought the springs, I just never got around to putting them on the car. Number two was the exhaust sound. The exhaust sound was terrible. However, my friends over at FI sent me a full exhaust suite. How long was that?
The install?
Yeah.
Longer than it should have been. 3 hours.
Was it really?
No, it was 5.
It was like 5.
It was 5. I'm just trying to make us feel better.
It's so obnoxiously loud. At idle and cold start, when you're driving it, it's not bad at all. It is a valved system. We never plugged the valves in. But yeah, it's real good. It's hot out here, so we're gonna jump inside and we'll talk about the spec, the price, what I think about it so far. I'm about to sell it. I'm really great at this whole making content thing. I just buy a car, sell a car, buy a car, sell a car, buy a car, sell a car. It's wonderful. So obviously the outside is black, I think sapphire black to be exact. They have a carbon black, it's kind of blue, wasn't a fan of that. And the inside is, I think it's called Secure Orange or something like that, which is weird because every other company in the world has translated that to red. I don't know why this is called orange, it's red. Base price on this particular model, $109,000. Competition package, which basically gives you like smoked out lights, extra horsepower, I think a little bit stiffer suspension, basically blacks everything out, makes it look nicer and gives you a little bit more power and a higher top speed. $9,300. Driving assistance package, which let me just say, this thing might have better autopilot than the Tesla did. It actually doesn't suck, and no speed limiter. Like the Tesla was like, oh, it's 75, you can't go any faster. The Germans don't give a shit. The Germans will let you autopilot at 150 miles an hour if you want to. It's a little terrifying, but I appreciate it. $1,700, $2,700 for the executive package. That gives you remote engine start, that gives you cooled and heated cup holders. I've never seen that in any other car. Heads-up display, massaging seats with like 20 different modes. Bowers & Wilkins sound system, I will say this is probably the best sound system I've had in any car I've ever owned. $3,400. That's pretty much it. So $126,895 is the exact MSRP of this particular vehicle. Here's the one thing that people complain about with the X5M, X6M, all the BMW XM SUVs. They're rough. They're very rough. It's really not that bad. I wouldn't say it's any worse than the GT3 or anything like that, but I can definitely see if you put little kids in the back, they might be a little jarred. The benefit of it being as stiff as it is, it doesn't drive like an SUV at all. It really doesn't. Like, you can take corners way faster than you should. I have taken this thing on a couple drives now with friends where they brought out 911 GT3s and 458s and 488s, and I can keep up with them no problem in the corners and in the straight lines. I'm confident you could track an X5M or an X6M and keep up with sports cars no problem. And I will take that trade for it being a little bit rough in exchange for it not driving like a boring, sloppy SUV. It's a little jarring sometimes though. There's times where I make myself a little sick and my back hurts a little bit. But the seats are great, so it helps. So, I think that's gonna be it for this video and the X5M. This is the greatest packaged vehicle I've ever owned in my life. It's not my favorite vehicle I've ever owned. I don't think I would buy another one, but as far as like build quality, performance, overall looks, the aggressiveness, just an all-around package, especially technology and build quality, which for me coming out of the Tesla was the biggest thing. It's great. I can confidently say this is the ultimate driving machine. I never thought I'd say that about a BMW, but I have to agree. The X5M might be the greatest daily driver ever made. I still want a truck. I need a truck. I'm borrowing a friend's truck like once a week at this point. I never intended to own this for more than like a month. I thought I was gonna buy it and the Raptor R was gonna show up and then I was gonna sell it. And my Raptor R has just been delayed and delayed and delayed and no one can tell me where it is. It's now been in production for 6 months, which is longer than a 3RS. It goes in production. Like something's obviously wrong. I don't know. I'm replacing this today with a truck, but it ain't a Raptor R. And I think 50% of you guys are gonna be like, that's fucking sick. And the other 50% be like, what did you do? I guess we'll see. But I will miss this thing. If I had to be stuck with any vehicle for an extra 4 months longer than I thought I had to, X5M it is. Thumbs up. That's my Joe score for the X5M. If you would, do me a favor, follow me on Instagram. I think I post somewhat cool stuff, and I bought back and forth from like 50 to 49 to 50 to 49. I can't break 50. It'd be cool if you guys could help me break 50. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below what you thought about the X5M. It's time for me to go buy another car. I promise this is the last time I will buy and sell a car in the same video. I've done that twice in a row now, but it's the last time. I'll catch you guys in the next one.